Hello, my name is Thomas Wright. Today we're here at JTech. I'm going to be explaining the hydraulic directional valve forcible 4-section. This is it right here. We have 4 different levers. We have their different selectionals. The levers, if it pushes it forward, it extends the actuator rod. You go to the straight neutral where it's upright. It that goes into the overflow, and you pushes it backwards. It retracts the piston. This can work on several different applications: agriculture, machines, tractors. Construction machineries, loaders, excavators, industrial machines, and really any other type of hydraulic controlled devices. Over on this side we have our supply, that 1/2 inch threaded going in. On this other side we have our return tank, which is the other 1/2 inch. On top of our supply is 3/8, which would maximize the work. This is our torn this one cylinder down. This is how it would go into neutral, which would flow straight through. You can push it forward, it would extend it. Back, it would go retract it. This is a spring loaded, so that it automatically goes back to its neutral position. The maximum supply that can go through this hydraulic valve, directional valve, the supply would be about 3,640 psi. Maximum return about 728 psi through this side. Our sectionals will be able to push through about 4,367 psi, and our overflow would run about 2,548, which would allow us to maximize our amount of loads that we're able to push. This allows multiple different sections to be used. It's used typically in smaller areas. Control a few different units. I went over to a diagram that I did explain my unit. This is a cylinder double action single rod, which would give allow us to extend and retract our cylinder going to our hydraulic unit, going to our cylinder, our double action single ended rod. And then we would need a push. Then we need a push-pull lever in order to actuate, which would be our levers that have our pushing and our pulling. And this would be our hydraulic lines that would go through. And the cylinder would be the actual application of our hydraulic directional valve. This is putting it back in. pushing this all the way back in. Here would be our spring that we would use to allow it to automatically push back forward. There, put our cap back on. Then we need to put our lever back on so that it's going through to our rod. Putting our pin in. There we go. We need to put our cap on the our opposite end. And then I'm just going to flip down my dust cover. So my pin is all the way in. There you go. And I'm just going to do a test. Forward, back, and goes straight back to the center. My name is Thomas Wright. Thank you for letting me explain my hydraulic directional valve for spool 4 sections.